Okay, I got to tell you an embarrassing story, Luke.
Okay.
Are you ready? Okay,
Yes.
so I just mentioned that my insulation is all cleared out of my attic because I'm doing a bunch of wiring up there, right?
Yeah.
So one of the things that I'm doing is Ethernet wiring for wireless access points, security cameras, all that kind of stuff. I don't have a ton of experience making my own Ethernet cables because in most cases, it really does just make more sense to just buy them. As long as you know what length you're going to need, having an extra, 6 feet and coiling it up or whatever is not only cheaper, but it can also be more reliable because then you're not counting on your own, homemade crimped connections. You're counting on a factory that presumably does this for a living to do everything properly. Anyway, over the last little bit, I've been doing enough of it that I've kind of gotten the hang of it though. Until last night. I set a goal for myself to do 1 security camera install per night so that there's just kind of a limit to how much crawling around in my attic that I have to do on a daily basis, but also so that the project will get done at some point. And last night I got home after a really frustrating day at work, really infuriating. I was just trying, all I wanted was I wanted a CPU to output enough heat that I could evaluate thermal compound, like a bunch of different thermal compounds. So I just wanted to consistently output a decent amount of heat. And you don't want it to be just a little bit because then it becomes hard to tell if it's just, if there's a 2-degree difference, it's hard to tell if that's just a 2-degree difference in, test runs or if that's a 2-degree difference in thermal interface performance. So if you can be at 80 degrees instead of 40 degrees, that 2-degree difference at 40 degrees might be 4 degrees at 80 degrees, and you're a lot more confident that one solution is truly better than the other. That's all I wanted. I want a CPU to get hot. And I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Couldn't make a CPU hot. No matter how I tried, there were some idiosyncrasies of the AMD FX 8150 that I didn't remember. In my defense, that was 10 years ago. And I couldn't get it to heat up without throttling. And anyway, I had a really frustrating day. Got home, and I was like, okay, I'm just going to put up... I need to feel like I accomplished something today. So I put up a security camera and I was running the Ethernet cable for it. 1. Okay.
Okay.
2. 3. Hold on. Gotta start holding these differently. Okay. 4. 5.
Oh, no.
6.
What?
7. 8.
What? Why?
I don't even know if this is all of them. I had to recrimp the connectors on this run. It's the stupidest thing ever because it's I don't know, 15-foot run. It's the camera right here, and my server room is on the other side of this wall. It's such a short run. I had to redo it 8 times, and I'm standing up on my desk, and it's hard because I don't have a ton of slack, and I have less and less slack every time. And it was one of those things where I was just so angry and so exhausted. And what I did was I had already done it 4 times or so. And Yvonne steps in, she's like, do you want me to try one? And I'm like, you've never even done this before. I don't honestly think that's going to help. She comes in and she's like, well, I can follow instructions. I'm like, that's true. You are very good at following instructions. She is so meticulous. Whereas I'll kind of gloss over stuff and be like, yeah, I mostly know what's going on here. And then I'll get 8 more steps in and oh crap, I have to undo everything now because I missed something. She never does that. She's the queen of following instructions. So she follows the instructions. She has trouble with some of it because her fingers just aren't that strong. So straightening the wires and bending these things over because I have to do it by hand. You need
to lift, and Yvonne needs to do finger strengthening exercises.
Well, it is kind of hard. It is kind of hard to get them perfectly straight, especially when you consider that she didn't have a lot of extra to work with, so she couldn't just take off 1.5 inches and use that to have better leverage, right? Yeah. No, there's a reason for it. Anyway, so she does it. She goes through, and finally she did it all properly, and I was there supervising, watching. And it still didn't work. And I was like, okay, well, I'm back to putting on more connectors. So I went back to the other side. I did it again. So now I had Yvonne's side on this side and my side there, and it still wasn't working. And so she's like Googling, she's like, you know, should you crimp it fast? Should you crimp it slow? Should you, you know, do you use the load bar? You know, those load bar things that you're supposed to pre-put the wires in? She's like, do you do it the other way? And we did find an illustration where someone was putting it in the other way. And I was like, that's stupid. That makes no sense. You should obviously put it in this way because this way helps you sort them and this way is just dumb. And we found, you know, she found more resources that confirmed that, yes, in fact, that is the right way to do it. She's like doing all this research. And finally, she's like, she's just so methodical. This is why we're so good together, because when it comes to like sort of just raw dragon energy, like I am like a more wild, like creative thinker. But when it comes to, you know, focusing that dragon energy, you know, I need her, you know, I really do. She comes along, she picks up all the ends that I've done. She's like, are you sure you're doing them right? I'm like, yes, I'm sure I'm doing it right. There's a diagram right on my crimping tool. There's no way that I could be doing them wrong. Out of these 8, 5 of them are backwards. So there it is. That one, it's kind of hard to see, but it's brown on this side instead of orange on this side. So what was happening was I was consistently, because of the angle the cable was coming in at, and because my brain was addled, I was consistently wiring up one side correctly and the other side incorrectly.
Oh,
I was so
painful.
Mad. And meanwhile, I'm trying to figure out, okay, am I not getting the loading bars in deep enough? Are they not actually getting the cables, you know, right up where the crimping thing comes down? Am I, am I crimping like too fast or too slow? Or like I'm trying to do a rain dance, right? When the answer is you just gotta, you know, get some sleep and wait for the weather to change.
Yeah. Wow, that's pretty great.
Yeah, so I immediately...
So did she solve it then, though?
Well, she solved it. She solved me being an idiot, right? Like, she was like, hey, you're an idiot. And I was like, cool.
But, like, she figured out, like, look, these previous ones were wrong.
Yeah.
I know you said you had 5 that were wrong, but I didn't know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, immediately after. So the really frustrating thing was, like, I didn't think to check the order of the wires because it was, like, kind of working. So I was getting power. I could see in my Ubiquiti like controller dashboard that I was getting power to the device, but I wasn't getting any data. And I was like, come on, why am I getting power and no data? How could it be? I even asked this out loud before she gave me the answer. I said, how could it be that I am so consistently getting the power wires connected and not the data ones?
So you like kind of knew.
Yeah, well,
not
like
really.
I just couldn't.